Good morning, babies. Hi, how are you? I hope this video finds you well, my little darlings, my little sweeties. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Use your own discernment and intuition. It is also timeless, so whenever you find it, it is the right time. I will never reach out to you for personal readings because I'm not doing them, and I would never do that anyway to reach out to you, so please report those people. All right, let's get into it. My loves, my sweets. This is just a fun little side note. Of course, you know, we can't, the karmics gotta make themselves relevant, right? So I wouldn't, they might be sending you spell work or stalking you or whatever, your little karmic ex, whatever, sending you weird mail with magic attached to it, weird shit like that. It's just a FYI. Don't let it affect you. Don't give it any power. It just is what it is. They can't let go. They might suddenly start frequenting the places you started going to because they're stalking your ass, that type of stuff. Trying to bump into you. Or they're, if you're with someone else, someone new or whatever, they're going to start trying to stalk your partner or, interest, because they just can't let go. And the more magic and energy and projection and haterade that they send, it's coming right back at them. And any like confusion or conflict that they're trying to send or, try to get involved in, whatever, it's literally bouncing right back off y'all and hitting them. So, and that explains why they're even more crazy and showing up and stalking, because they're wanting you to be obsessed with them, but they're just getting hit with their own energy. And if they're paying people to do magic and stuff like that, it's all coming back on them too. And that these people are soon learning that ain't it. You're not one to be messed with. So, side note, they just want to make themselves relevant, don't they? They're trying to send some chaos, conflict, whatever, to your relationships or just to you, your finances, whatever. I just got a paper cut. That made somebody mad. Yeah, so they're getting hit with their own stuff. Anything that they're sending to you is literally bouncing right back, ricocheting off of you, right back to them. So, and that made them mad, me sharing that. So, they're going through it. Oh man, we got the Queen of Coins in reverse. And people are soon realizing, whatever it is, that, because we have the Ace of Wands here, they can't find anyone like you. They can't, you were the cream of the crop to them. And we have the Ace of Coins also in reverse with the Ten of Cups upright. That's telling me you're a missed opportunity, and the ridiculous thing is they don't like seeing you happy. They don't like seeing you light, healing, loving on yourself. So now they gotta come back and get a taste of that, however that looks like to them, because they're trying to spin the block. or they simply can't let go. If this is somebody you let go of a really long time ago, they're still, and you know, maybe you were in a lower vibration, so you still interacted with them and, you know, caught up, you know, whatever, how you still gave them some of your energy before. But now you're finding your self-worth and all of that, and giving to yourself with that Ace of Wands. And you're realizing who they are. They're materialistic, they're selfish, they're smothering. Hypocritical, because I'm seeing like, oh, well, I can go out and do what I want, but you can't. That type of stuff. I'm hearing that there's this song called That Bitch. I think it's B. Miller or something, but one of the lyrics in the song says, I had a guy tell me, men can cheat, women can't. And then he proceeded to ask me out. Like, just like, that's the energy they're in. They're in this weird hypocritical energy. And you're out here like loving on yourself, and they don't like it because you're having a new beginning. You're taking care of yourself. You're lighting up the world with your beauty, your shine, your light, your fire. You're becoming more passionate for life and recognizing your purpose. And so you're just glowing even more. And that's got people feeling some type of way because they missed out on that because they were on demon time. And what they need to recognize is, because I'm sure there's quite a few karmics watching, you're not gonna recognize that you're karmic though. It's okay. We all been there. What they're not recognizing is it was for a lesson, and you know, if they would quit obsessing about other people, you know, focusing outwardly, their life would just be as good or even better if they just focused on themselves instead of getting this like quick gratification. You know, and if it's like, I'm even getting like some of your family members that you've cut out and you like questioned if they were into like magic or anything like that, or just they were doing some backhanded stuff. They're trying to get back into your life any way they can. You might get a weird, like, I'm seeing somebody getting like a card in the mail from them, and you're like, what the hell? Like, why all of a sudden now? And they're like, thinking of you. Yeah, they're just, because you cut off the cords, and so they're trying to come back. And it's interesting because they don't know this, but your light burned them in a way. It's like, you know, UV light to vampires, yet it was very cleansing to them. And they're not making that connection. They just were like, just thinking about you because they want you back. They want your energy. They want to reconcile, but they're unaware of like what their reasoning is. I'm also getting, because like you gave them so much energy, their life was fantastic. They had great health, all of this stuff. Now that you've cut these cords off, you might start seeing people's health decline, their finances decline, you know, just bad luck and stuff like that. Just weird stuff happening because you're no longer attached to these people, so karma can finally hit them. And that means just like not thinking about them, you know, maybe sending them, you know, like, yo, I hope you find healing. That's the best prayer you can send to anyone, any of your enemies, anything. I hope you find healing. I hope they find healing, because that's going to get them exactly what they need. Just like you had these catalyzing events to find healing, you probably had, so like, you know, car wreck, injury, horrible breakup, you know, whatever it is, to find this healing, to realize, get shaken awake, to start this healing journey. So pray for their healing. And don't give them much of your energy anymore. Like, yes, people do awful shit, but we gotta find closure at some point. We gotta let it go at some point. Let's see. What do they need to hear to let this go so they can finally cut any energetic cords? So they were placed in your life because we have the Page of Coins upright and the Ace of Cups in reverse. They were placed in your life as a lesson of self-love, you know, and especially if it was family members or somebody, you know, you had a child with or whatever. So there was this strong tie that you're forced, you know, by society to interact with them, or, you know, family traditions, whatever it is. So you could break free of that. You were forced by all, you know, I see 11:11 on the clock there for a second. You had to break past all these societal pressures, any of that stuff, because so you could finally have true self-love, because, you know, that's like it takes the most courage, it takes the most power, self-discipline to truly love yourself enough to break past societal norms. And, you know, because it's not comfortable going against the grain. It's not comfortable doing stuff for yourself. And that was part of the lesson. And that's why you were forced into this, or, you know, placed into this, you know, it was all for your highest good. You were placed with these people, you know, being born with it, or just running into them, having children with them, having, you know, relationships, getting married, whatever it is, you know, what's the word I want to think of? And investing with these people. You were meant to do this to learn how to finally crawl out. Like, that's the biggest test. Coming out of such a binding of, like, you know, whether it's family, you know, blood, children, relationship, marriage, any of that stuff, coming out of, you know, it could be just, you know, friendships with, you know, they were helping you financially or vice versa, whatever. You were intertwined in some way. You invested together. You started a business together. You had to crawl out of that to finally break free of this low self-worth. You know, this has followed you lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And now it's your turn, your time. You're ready. You know, this is the lifetime where you break free of that. We have the Four of Cups, the High Priestess, with the World in reverse. Once again, the Ace of Pentacles showed up at the bottom of the deck in reverse again. The advice here is shifting your perception of, like, don't see it as a waste of time, waste of energy. You had to go through that in order to break free from this curse, this pattern, this way of existing that has been passed down from generation to generation, lifetime to lifetime. It's just as if, you know, when people go to university or, you know, schooling or whatever, it's hard. It's difficult. You know, I have 444 on my clock. You know, they're paying a lot of money. They're having to have a job and go to school full time to survive. They're living on bad food, you know, and they're studying all the time, just trying to make, you know, trying to have a personal life on top of that. There's so much going on, so many moving parts, and it's difficult, it's stressful. But, once these people get out into the real world, they're like, oh shit, like I was kind of detached from like thinking that was like the worst thing I've ever gone through. It's like that, like this event that you went through, you needed to go through that to be where you're at now. It set you up for your future. And that's, success. That's abundance, unconditional love, peace. And, the grief, the sorrow, the trauma of whatever you experience is like the debt of the schooling, if you want to see it like that. Like you got to pay it, but you're paying it off by moving into this healing energy, the healing energy of like self-love, dealing with, your family members that are pressuring you to mold and stay with these patterns, with these generational curses, whatever it is. By breaking free from that, you're paying off that debt. And we have the moon here. So with the high priestess and the moon here, there's you're in this to trust yourself more, follow your intuition, because on the surface, if your family is being horrible to you because you're taking care of yourself and they're calling you selfish, they're this, they're that, oh, you think we're better than us, or whatever your karmic ex is saying, your baby mom, baby dad, whatever, by good, because you're seeing this on just surface level, and you're like, oh, well, since I'm getting like all this like discomfort and conflict, it doesn't make sense, to do this, because that, they're creating this environment to make you think like you're doing the wrong thing. But this is strengthening your intuition with the high priestess and the moon, because on the surface it doesn't look what it is, right? You're like, whoa, why am I dealing with all this conflict? These people are hating on me, sabotaging me, doing all these awful things. But it's your lesson to close the cycle, to keep pushing into, like, keep pushing forward, keep pushing into this energy of loving on yourself, taking care of yourself, making moves to better your life and your environment, your energy, calling your energy back, all that stuff, despite what it looks like in the 3D. That's trusting that it's the right move. You're listening to your intuition, you're listening to God, you're listening to your spirit team, the universe, whatever. You're listening to those messages versus the 3D messages that are screaming in your face, the alarms that are in your face. You're learning that that's just a false alarm. That's just meant to keep you small. That's listening to that stuff is not self-care, self-love. This card has been kind of like sideways and then not sideways, so I'm just gonna kind of read it as both here. We have the Chariot. There we go. With the Devil in reverse. So we have the Chariot with the Devil in reverse. you moving into uncharted territory of like, no one's ever done this, no one's ever broke free, no one's ever said no to the family, no one's ever, you know, whatever it is, you're in uncharted territory. You're, I almost said conquistador, but like a explorer checking out a whole new world. And in that comes freedom, release. I'm also getting, just with you breaking free from any of this stuff, you're also breaking free from any like bad habits or addictions or anything like that, because interacting with these people and not feeding yourself and loving on yourself was causing bad habits that were just unhealthy for your physical body, your mind, your spirit, all of that stuff. And by doing so, just, it's like the ripple effect. You choose to break free and not follow into these old patterns, these familiar curses, whatever it is society is forced upon you. And in doing so, you release whatever addictions that you had. It might not be an immediate thing, but it does come, and you gain freedom from it. Or you're also finding balance in it. Like, say you had like ate so much sugar, and because you weren't feeling sweetness in your life, so you were trying to taste that sweetness with food and whatever else. But now, since you're moving out of this and you're loving on yourself, you won't crave sugar as much. You might have it occasionally, but you're able to move into this energy of, oh, I don't need to eat all this sugar anymore because I'm giving myself this sweetness. Another thing that might be is maybe you had a hard time letting people go all the way. I saw 222 on the timer there. You know, you had a hard time letting exes go and stuff like that. And in doing so, now that you're in this new energy, new people are coming into your life, new friends, new lovers, people that you can call your family, your chosen family. And they're going to be they're showing you that life can be so much better. We do have the sun in reverse, and I'm seeing that as like, there might be some difficulty coming into this new world that you're traveling in, this uncharted territory, because you're so hardened by your past and all of that. And, you know, just even recognizing it makes you feel frustrated, or, you know, that grief, or you're like, man, I can't believe I let that happen, you know, that type of stuff. And them being good to you is also going to show you like, damn, I have never experienced this before. So it might actually be a bit painful and evoke some like sadness or grief or like just shock that you're like, wow, I had never experienced this in my life. And it's like that weird, like hollow feeling of like, damn, I had never been loved on like this before. I can't believe it. Like it's like I can't quite describe it, but it's like this shock, this baffled feeling of like, damn, I had never experienced unconditional love before, or somebody caring for me genuinely. But so it's going to, you know, cause a little sadness, or, you know, whatever it is of like, damn, I have never experienced this, like, wow. But it's also going to feel good because you're actually getting what you need. But there's that balance, or there's this like duality to it, because you're like, wait, is this person for real? You know, all of this because you're calloused from these past events. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. This is telling me this is your manifestations, and not to, you know, dwindle it or throw it away. You'll know if somebody's on bullshit time. Anything else before we close out? We have the Hangman at the bottom of the deck. That is telling me, with these new people coming in, don't do that knee-jerk reaction stuff. Just hang out in it and like witness their energy and be open. You can survive anything at this point. Anything you've survived everything that you've been through up until this point. And if you do have issues, because we have the Five of Swords in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Eight of Cups in reverse. If you do have any issues, or it'll be apparent. Oh, okay, so I'm also getting, sorry, that if you gave it time, or you kind of like put some distance between you and another person, and you finally recognize like, oh shit, this person was for real for me and all of that, you can come back and reconcile. And this, you know, depending on like how sincere and like, you know, you got to take accountability for maybe pushing them away, and you can come forward and be like, hey man, I've been like hurt by so many people with this Queen of Cups in reverse, manipulated, and you know, or I was just working through like mommy issues, whatever it is. I didn't mean to like walk away from you. I just needed like to like sit back and like assess the situation. So if you do recognize that you push this person away or whatever, that we're good people, you'll be able to reconcile with them. As long as you're being real and taking accountability, they'll respect it. But yeah, and that's part of that Hangman also, is just like, yeah, I just needed to like sit back and like assess, because I have been through like some really traumatic you know, relationships or whatever, connections. So I needed to hold back, and I apologize for that. And if they're real ones, they'll respect you for that apology and the honesty. Especially if you say like, hey, I've been reflecting on this shit, like, my bad. Damn, so this Ace of Coins has been at the bottom of the deck several times in reverse, and it just popped out in reverse. There may be, so say if you did push somebody away, and it's just kind of like you dissipated or whatever, you feeling that like grief or regret of like, damn, I did that to a person, like just taking accountability within yourself. If you feel that you can't reach out to this person and say that, or you know, there isn't just an opportunity for that, you taking accountability for that and recognizing this is going to bring either, you know, new people back into your life, or you'll get an opportunity, like run into them, and like say you're vacationing somewhere and you happen to run into them and you're like, hey, you'll get the opportunity to like like restart, like have another chance, whether it's with just a different person, same energy, or you know, whatever, however it ends up being, because it could just be the exact person, or a similar energy within another person. You'll get the opportunity. I'm also getting with the Six of Cups in reverse, so it may not be a person from your past, but it'll be somebody that's, you know, good-hearted, honest, and has your best intentions, and you'll be able to connect with them, and you get another chance, as long as you're taking accountability within yourself, because it is easy to push people away, especially after such awful events happen to you, and you recognize your whole life you never had any good connections and all of that, and you're like, whoa, who else is out to get me? Who else is out to sabotage me, or you know, use me for my resources, whatever. It can be easy to be in that energy. All right, babies, I'm gonna end it there. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thanks for doing all this hard ass work. I'm so proud of you. Love you, babes. Bye.